Hello everyone. So in this episode of this Unreal Engine Design Viewer system, I'm going to show you how to highlight specific parts of the building like this. So here when I open the panel for this building A1 section, you can see this highlight applied to that section of the building. And if I want to focus on this part, you can see this part is highlighted. Similarly, if I go to the other building, press here, you can see this building is highlighted. So yeah, this is what we are going to work on today. And also you may have noticed we have different colored outlines for different sections of the buildings, so that is also possible with the system that we are going to build. Okay, now before we get started, let me quickly remind you that this is a part of this Unreal Design Viewer tutorial series that I'm doing, so you can watch all of the episodes as well in this playlist. And also all the project files are available for download in my Patreon page. Once you become a member, you can download all these thousands of projects I have done in my channel without any limit, so feel free to check it out. I'll leave links to everything in the description below. Right, now let's get back to today's tutorial. So in this multicolored outlines tutorial, I implemented a way to show outlines on selected objects inside the engine. So I'm going to use this in my design viewer to highlight the parts that we are focusing on. So for example, if I press B in building A1, now it should highlight this part of the building, and when I focus on the other one, it should highlight that part of the building. And if I go to building B, and here we only have one part of the building, there are no multiple parts, so it should highlight this whole building. So that's what I want to do. And for that, I have imported the same post-process material that I implemented here. So I'll leave the link to this tutorial as well in the description, so you can follow it and implement the material by yourself. Or here is the full material if you want to take a look. Right. Okay, now in order to use this, I need a post process volume. So let me add a post process volume first into the level, and here I'll mark it as infinite extent or unbound, so that this post process volume will be applied everywhere in the world. And then there is a option to give this post process materials here. Let me give an asset reference and use this outline. Now the way this post process outline works is, if I mark a certain mesh to render in custom depth pass, it gets the outline. And here, by changing the custom depth stencil value, we can change the color as well. So you can use any color you want. I'll keep green. But by default, if you leave the custom depth stencil value, zero, it's gonna be red. Okay, now I don't want to enable this by default, so let me disable it and open this. This is a static mesh. I have this built-in blueprints, so let me open this built-in blueprint. Okay, and here we have already implemented this focus event. So here I'll add a variable built-in meshes and change this to static mesh. The object reference and make it an array. Now if I make it instance editable, compile here for each building, now you can see under built-in meshes you can select built-in meshes. So let me first start with building A1, this one, assign this and assign this mesh, this side mesh. That should be enough for demonstration. And for the building A2, assign this mesh, side mesh. Is it a different? This one. Also, I think this is also a part of this building. So this one. Okay. And for the building 2, it's just this. It's a single mesh. Okay. Now I have the building meshes. So let me get this and run a for each loop. And set render custom depth. So here we can use past this. We can, if I mark this as true, the custom depth will be enabled, false will disable. So let me drag a line here like this and then convert this to a function. I say I built in, and instead of calling this a value, let's call it enable. If I make this true, it would enable custom depth rendering for the meshes. If I call this with the false, it would disable it. Okay, now let's see. It didn't. Okay, now it did. Now it didn't. Alright, that's fine. Let's go to building B. Didn't. Okay, let's see why. Surely I forgot a bit. So basically what needs to happen is when I click on this button, this should be highlighted. But this button is in this, in here. UI building info. This is the button, and the on-click event for this button is here. Okay, so now in order to highlight the building, I'm gonna need a reference to the building that represents the by this widget also inside this blueprint. So inside this widget blueprint, so I'll add a new variable. in the same type as BP building, and I'll call it current building. And then when I on click, that means when I enable the visibility of this border, by border I means the part this that contains building information. So here let's add a switch. Oh, not with this one. We need to add a switch in this. And I think it would be better if I do it before I change the visibility. Oh no, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Yeah, shouldn't matter. Okay, now if we are making it visible, then now we can we have the current building. So get the current building and highlight the building. So if this is if this border is visible, that means we need to enable the highlight of the current building. Oh, wait a second. That's what I was thinking. So if I change the visibility here, now that means this is again affected. So this might be different. So after all, I will have to use this. Yeah, not this one. Okay, so anyway, if the border is visible, that means I have to enable the highlight. Otherwise, for any other option, I can disable it. And now where do we set this current building? That should be in the building. We create the building info widget here, here, and after that, get a bit cleaner. Okay. Current. Set current building. Pass a reference to serve like this. Okay. Now let's test. In A1, see, now it's highlighted. Press again, it's dehighlighted. Highlighted, removed. Go to building B, highlighted, and removed. Building A, highlighted. What if I go to building B right now? It's removed. It automatically works. Okay, great. So that's all I want to cover in this episode. Okay, let's test this as well. Oh, now in this case, this highlight was not removed, and we need to do that too. Okay, so let's go here. Actually, yeah, this is the preview button and next button. So whatever we do, current building, highlight building, call with the false. Now, see, now the highlight is automatically removed. Okay, now Another thing is, if you want a certain building to have a different color, well, as I said, we can change this custom depth stencil value. You have to enable it in order to edit it. Here, make it 1. Now for the building B, now it's highlighted in red, and this is still red because the custom depth stencil value is 0. So if you want a different color, you can use another value there for these meshes as well. Okay, so thanks for watching. As always, updated project files will be available here for download in the Patreon page. Link would be in the description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in another tutorial. Goodbye.